Well, it's an even-numbered year. That means lots of great political ads. The big one this year is going to be Mark Udall versus Cory Gardner. This is a big Senate seat, so no television is safe. But that's months and months from now. Dustin Zvonek, sorry.
That's
from
all right.
AFP, Americans for Prosperity here in Colorado. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, now you guys have been very critical of Obamacare and critical of Senator Udall. Let's start with the first part.
Yeah.
Why? What's the big fight with Obamacare? It passed. It's over. Deal with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Americans for Prosperity, like so many others, has been fighting Obamacare from the beginning. And now we've gotten to a point where we're not just debating what might happen if it passes. We know. I mean, we've seen first with the broken website, and then the cancellation letters, and then the skyrocketing premiums. And so we're going to continue to have this debate because it's not over. We don't feel that it's over. We're going to hold members of Congress and senators like Mark Udall, who supported Obamacare and who continue to support it, accountable for doing so.
You're putting together a campaign that really ties Udall to that crucial 60th vote that he was to make Obamacare real. If he did not make that one vote, it would not happen. Now, you could say that about all 60 of them.
Sure.
But if not for Senator Udall, none of this would be going on.
That's right. 330 some odd thousand Coloradans wouldn't have received cancellation letters this past fall. We wouldn't have had premiums raising in Colorado anywhere from 19 to 40%. You wouldn't see families paying more and more out of pocket. And of course, the infamous lie that was started by the president. If you like your plan, if you like your doctor, Senator Udall said the same thing. You can keep it. We know now it's not true. Even the president admits that it's not true.
I want to repeat that because we've got the 48 million times that the president said, if you like your doctor, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, period.
Yeah.
But our senator said the exact same thing, did he not?
That's right. In fact, he said, if you like your plan, if you like the medical facility you're going to, if you like your doctor, you're going to get to keep it. He said it. I mean, it was in an interview. He repeated that lie, and it is just that. It's a lie. And the president, I think it was just last week in an interview, said, well, you might not be able to keep your doctor, and you might have to go to this doctor or that doctor. And that's unfortunate because that was a big pillar of their don't worry, hey, look, if you like it, you're going to keep it. It's not going to affect you, but that's just not the case.
Let's look at this in political eyes, that Hickenlooper is running for re-election, and there's going to be a host of issues that are going to be dogging him or helping him, from guns to taxes to the new voting laws that let you vote any place you want, all that sort of stuff. But for Senator Udall, I think this one election centers around one thing and one thing only, and that's his vote for Obamacare. Now, you're hoping that enough Coloradans agree with you that this was a terrible vote. Do you have any sense that that's how Coloradans feel? Yeah,
I mean, you see poll after poll where 60% of the state doesn't support it. And in key demographics for Senator Udall, they don't support Obamacare. I mean, there was a national poll that asked, do you think Obamacare is working? And the numbers were somewhere around the same range of the number of people who think Elvis is still alive. It's not working.
Elvis never dies because Elvis is here.
That's right. He's in your heart.
So, you think this is, and you're putting money, the AFP is putting money into an advertising campaign to get this word out, to make sure people understand that 60th vote is Udall.
That's right.
How much are you going to be spending on this?
So far, we've spent $970,000 between broadcast TV, cable, and online. But in addition to that, and one of the things that AFP does that's unique to a lot of the groups on our side of the movement, holding members accountable for their vote on Obamacare, is that we are going to start going door to door. We're holding phone banks across the state and echoing that same message. We want Coloradans to realize that if it weren't for Senator Udall, Obamacare wouldn't be in place. And all these Coloradans who are suffering as a result of it, it just wouldn't be the case if it weren't for him.
All right, a lot of us know this, but you're trying to get to a different demographic. Tell me a little bit about that. Sure. Who are you trying to reach?
Just regular Coloradans, people who are living their lives. I mean, this is one of the things that you hear a lot, is that there were 300 and some odd thousand Coloradans who got cancellation letters. And the left and Senator Udall, they're quick to dismiss that and say, well, a lot of them were able to renew their policy. But think about how unsettling that was for that family that's raising their kids, going to work, to get that letter and say, sorry, but as a result of the Affordable Care Act, your policy is canceled.
They weren't able to get that policy. They were able to get something like that policy.
And more expensive.
And only because the president decided to do an executive order saying, no, you can go back and get those things. The insurance companies, the horse was out of the gate. You can't go back and relive old policies. You have to start brand new policies. So you got 300,000 people in Colorado whose lives have been touched by this one decision. Now, there was a case where a staffer from Udall's office starts looking at the state and saying,
Yep.
these numbers aren't right.
Yeah.
You're not counting this. What looked like intimidation. Is this part of the campaign as well?
I mean, it's all part of the bigger deception. I mean, they don't want people to know what Obamacare is really, what the impact is really having. And in fact, that the instance you're talking about, where a staffer was contacting somebody at the Division of Insurance to try to suppress the number of people who are receiving cancellation letters. And now you see, when we're out there advertising on TV and going door to door and making phone calls, they want to attack AFP, they want to attack others. They don't want to defend their record. They just want it to go away. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want the real numbers and true stories that are out there affecting Coloradans to come to light, because it's not good for Senator Udall.
I think Udall's election rises and falls not with the reality of Obamacare. Obamacare will cripple our economy. It's going to bust the budget. It's unworkable. But the perception of it, and the perception is now that the website is beginning to work. A lot of young people, those young invincibles that are supposed to be signing up to make it work, they're still not signing up.
Yeah.
The question is, will this perception be better by November, or will this perception stay the same or get worse? If that's the case, Colorado's going to get a new senator.
Yeah, I think that the perception of it, they're hoping that through all of these executive orders, whether it's delaying the employer mandate or delaying this mandate or the other, that by election day, they hope that it'll get better. But our focus is going to continue to be, and that's why a lot of people ask us, why now? Why are you doing this, in March? And my answer is that we're not looking at November. Our focus, our opponent is Obamacare. And right now, each and every day, there's a new horror story about how it's impacting Coloradans and impacting Americans. So we're going to continue to have that conversation right now, and we'll see how those cards fall.
All right, I tell you what, let's take a look at an example of this ad, of what it says and the message you're trying to get out. So this is an ad that comes to you from Americans for Prosperity from the Colorado chapter. Let's take a look. Go ahead and roll it.
People don't like political ads. I don't like them either. But healthcare isn't about politics. It's about people. It's not about a website that doesn't work. It's not about poll numbers or approval ratings. It's about people. And millions of people have lost their health insurance. Millions of people can't see their own doctors. And millions are paying more and getting less. Obamacare doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Tell Senator Udall to stop thinking about politics and start thinking about people.
You can get me that actress's telephone number.
I will do my best.
You will make that a priority.
I'll make that a priority.
Right,
yep.
That'll be a priority.
Right.
The message on this was a little different than most, I'll call them political ads or TAC ads. There was no picture of Mark Udall turning black and white and grainy with that dun dun dun. This was just one woman talking about it's not good for people. Why go that direction?
Because that's who Obamacare is affecting. It's just regular people. I think that so many Americans and Coloradans are tired of the typical political ad, and this isn't a political ad. This is an ad that's talking to regular Americans who are seeing the results of Obamacare. They're seeing that promise of keep your plan, keep your doctor just wasn't true. They're receiving cancellation letters. They're seeing the rising costs in their premiums and out-of-pocket expenses. So we want to talk to regular folks out there who are struggling with the realities of Obamacare. It's no longer just a theoretical debate.
You give Mark Udall's telephone number. I'm assuming this is not his home number.
It might be.
You say, call him. What is it you want people to tell him? I mean, he voted for it. He can't back away from it. What action do you want him or any senator to take at this point?
Look, I think that if he stepped out of Washington and started listening to people here in Colorado, he talks about how he's going to represent this state. Well, he should come here and have town halls. He should listen to folks about what they're feeling with Obamacare, because I think that he would change his mind if he actually listened to the people he represented, as opposed to continuing to walk lockstep with President Obama. So we're hoping that when people call him, they'll let him know exactly what they feel about Obamacare. We'll let him know. We hope that he hears the stories of real Coloradans and how this is impacting their lives, and maybe then he'll decide that it's not the right policy decision.
One of the most magical moments watching this unfold as the election draws nearer was how he thrice rejected he turned his back on his president. And in an interview in D.C., I think it was after the State of the Union address, which was, would you be inviting the president to come out and campaign with you in Colorado? And he never said yes. Matter of fact, he dodged it. And then, I forget the reporter's name, but she was very insistent. Well, do you want him to come to Colorado? I said, well, we're going to have to check schedules. We'll do this.
Sure. But
do you want him to come and campaign for you in Colorado? And he dodged it again, 3 times. Has Obama become a negative? This is a state where he won both elections by sizable margins. This was a popular presidential candidate in 2008 and in 2012.
Yeah.
You would think that hasn't changed in just 2 short years.
Yeah, I think it's the fear of being tied to Obamacare. And it's interesting that Senator Udall won't commit to wanting to have the president in the state with him, because this is a guy who votes with him more than any other United States senator. I know the president doesn't vote, but in terms of voting for his policy agenda, this is
how do you make that claim?
So that was there was actually a report. I think it was the National Review or National Journal, one of the two. They put, how many times does a senator vote along with the president's agenda? And Senator Udall was number 1. I mean, in fact, there was, some folks on the right were making fun of him and saying that these guys are an eHarmony match. And that's funny, but it's true. I mean, this is a guy who, tends to be more in lockstep with the president than with the people back in Colorado he's supposed to represent. And Colorado wants an independent voice, not somebody who's just going to go back there and rubber stamp the president's agenda.
Is this sizable advertising campaign, is this to unseat Udall? Be honest.
No, this is about Obamacare. This is, Americans for Prosperity. We have fought Obamacare from the beginning, and we've never let up. We've always believed it was a disaster for the future of our economy. I mean, when the president now talks about the enrollment numbers, and the inflated number is one where he includes the people who are on Medicaid. And we've gotten to a point in our country where we're measuring success by the number of people who are on a government program, as opposed to the number of people who are off a government program and on their own 2 feet. When he said he was going to transform the country, this is what he meant. And unfortunately, Senator Udall is helping him in that transformation, and it's scary. It's scary for us, and we hope that we can make a change on this policy before it's too late.
30 seconds. Where's the money coming from for all this wonderful ad? And it is a great ad.
Yeah, no, it's donors across the country, across the state of Colorado, who are concerned about economic freedom in our country and in our state, and that's who we get our funding from.
People want to get involved with AFP Colorado. Where do they go?
AFPcolorado.com. We need as many grassroots activists as possible. That's what's going to make the difference in winning this policy battle, is having folks go to AFPcolorado.com, sign up, become a member.
Dustin, thank you. And thank you. Listen for me on KHOW Radio. That's 6:30 a.m. Tell a friend about the Independence Institute, and we'll see you next week.